I lost 200 subscribers in the last 2 months. Hello everyone, I know I've been MIA for a while and I think I know why. I have not been very consistent. Honestly, I've been in a bit of a creative slump, and to be super honest and transparent with you guys, I've been struggling a little bit with maintaining like a consistent and deep relationship with Jesus, which I know it's what ultimately affects everything else that we do. Don't get me wrong, I've still been trying my best to show up and still read my Bible and force myself to pray, but you know how sometimes it just doesn't feel like it comes naturally to you. I don't know, it's just been a bit of a struggle lately, if I'm totally honest, and I don't want it to be a struggle because I know what it is to have it come naturally for you and for you to delight on waking up every day knowing you get to spend your morning with Jesus in your devotional. It just has not felt that way to me lately, but I might just be basing all of these on feelings instead of what it should actually be. So I want to change that, and in today's video we're just going to be resetting for the month of March, because what better way to get back on track than cleaning up our lives a little bit. And don't get me wrong, this is not going to be a magic reset that when we are done everything should be back to normal and we are super motivated and inspired. It might not be that way. I just wanted to take you guys along in my basic reset. You know that I do this every month, but I feel like this time it's actually very intentional. I follow several steps of different things that I like to do, so I'm going to take you along. If you are also struggling with being in a bit of a slump season, then you can reset with me. We're going to take it slowly, make it realistic, and hopefully this can help us to go through the month of March with a lot of intention, trying to search for what really matters, which is trying to live our lives according to God's plan. So let's get right into it. Alright, so starting off strong, we're going to reset our mind and soul. I have here my 5-minute journal, and I do this every morning, but at the end of every month I like to sit down, read my Bible, and journal a little bit deeper, just reflecting on what we did that month. After that, of course, we have some cleaning and decluttering. This one for me is a very vital part of my reset, just because during the month it's very easy for things to get very dirty, especially like all the bed clothes, right, and kind of like my plush toys and my desk and everything gets like very dirty and full of spider webs. As you can see here, all the dust in all my knickknacks that I put along my desk, which I love having all these little things to decorate, but it attracts a lot of dust, so I need to clean that very deeply, and it is a mess when I'm actually doing the cleaning, but look at the final result. Isn't that amazing? I just love to see everything in its place, everything being clean and organized, and I know it will get messy again, but at least for the time being it just feels like everything is where it's supposed to be and I can have a clean start, so that makes me very happy, obviously. And then we have our third step. This one is a big one for me as well, and it is goal setting and planning. I do this every single week. I plan ahead for the week, but also at the end of the month I do a little check on everything I was able to accomplish that month. As you can see here, I've been very obsessed with setting like some ambience or like wallpaper to stare at. I use my Switch for that way I don't have to use any other of my big devices. I change around my calendar and I write down all the important dates that are coming up so that I don't forget. It's very easy for me to just lose sight of the big picture or of the month in general, so it's better to have it written down. Here I am organizing my agenda, kind of planning in the upcoming week, as I was saying, and kind of seeing what are the things that I can include, what are some of the goals that I can set. This part is important because some goals seem to be a little bit big sometimes, and like I hesitate to write them down because of how difficult it might be to accomplish them, but that's the whole point, right? We set different level of goals, which I also put in my Notion space, and I kind of check in after a while. As a fourth step, I guess I would say to also declutter and organize your gallery and pretty much electronic devices. I download all of my pictures from the month into into this hard drive. That way it doesn't take up so much space on my phone. And I designed a photo dump for the month so I can post on Instagram. I love doing this, not to show off or anything like that, but just to kind of remind myself of what I did that particular month. So for this next part, I really like to customize my phone every month with a different wallpaper. I dreamed of doing this when I was a kid and I didn't have a phone on my own, so now that I do as an adult, I love customizing everything, and it does take me a bit sometimes, but I just watch some tutorials for some ideas or inspiration, and I try to keep like each month on a different theme. Don't ask me what the theme for this month is. I guess like some sort of a spring or summer vibe. So I went with like a soft blue color this time around. As you can see, this is my home screen, and then we have the striped wallpaper that has Jeremiah 29:11 in there. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, they are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. And I think that's an amazing intention for this month, and obviously for life. I needed a reminder of that. And then we go inside my phone. I kind of tinted my apps. I'm not in love with the color yet. I might change it. Well, this is like the very first page in there. I have some pictures of my puppy. I kind of feel like I should update them because that's when he was very little. He's a little bit bigger now. Then we have this page where I have some apps, some creative apps, and just like cameras and filters and stuff, and then some widgets. Iced coffees for pleasure, hot coffees for business. I love that. Then we have the next page with some widgets and just like my most frequently used apps. And then after that, I have like my folders page, and I have also a few widgets in there. I love the one that says I literally just want to drink iced coffee, and that's literally just me. And then that little recorder thing on the top, and then I just have some pages with pictures for my friends and stuff. So yeah, that's my phone setup for this month. I might change the tint on the apps. If you have a better idea, feel free to comment them below because I don't know which color to choose. We are done. Thank you so much for following along on this March reset. I feel so much better now that I know there's no dust or spider webs in my room and everything is organized and just how I love to see it. As you know, I work from home, so it's very important for me to see my workspace very nice and clean and organized. But yeah, overall, I'm very happy with everything we got to plan and kind of like see the vision for the month. I love to think about this as a raw draft, knowing in my heart that I'm not the director of this movie. I'm definitely leaving all the results to God and all the steps that He wants me to take. This is just like for my mind to be a bit more like thoughtful about what I'm doing and trying to achieve certain goals. But of course, if in the way God shows me we have to go in another direction, hopefully I can be flexible enough to follow His will, knowing that He only has my best interest at heart, and for you too. So I'm very glad that you guys followed me along. If you are rebuilding something this month, I encourage you to follow me along so we can be together in this journey and keep ourselves accountable. This month is going to be about consistency. We're gonna keep it real. We're not going to stress ourselves about what we achieved or what we didn't. I want to really live in the moment and take it one day at a time, knowing that I'm doing on my end what I can and leaving the results to God. So thank you again, you guys. I hope you have a great month ahead. I'll see you next time. Bye.